Okay, Chloe, I don't know if you heard the little robot, but recording's in progress. So why don't you tell us how your day is?
Yeah, good. Very hot here in LA. But yeah, no, just no, it's but just good. Just doing a ton of interviews. And yeah, there's nothing too exciting.
So I don't know why that when I was doing research on you before, I didn't realize that you were from Zimbabwe. Um,
Yes.
I also didn't realize that that's kind of how you got started, was you did a documentary there. Um,
Right, right. Well, my first real film was probably my documentary, and but yeah, I actually made that just after we left. But I couldn't go back as a result. But I mean, acting was always what I wanted to do. I was doing like acting work in theater and stuff before, but the documentary was probably my first official project that I did. Yep.
Okay. And do you feel like that kind of made you want to do more as far as directing and creating goes, or did that give you a taste of like, okay, now I want to try some fiction and see what the other side of that is?
No, no, I always was the fiction girl. I always was into the writing and the acting. It was just I just did the documentary just because it was a topic I was passionate about. Because I'm from Zimbabwe, I wanted people to know about what was happening there. So that was why I did it.
So then I think that that's very honorable. I think that's pretty awesome of you. And I'm
Thank you.
sorry I pronounced Zimbabwe wrong. Zimbabwe?
No, 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 that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, is there anything now? I know that you're focused on acting and stuff, but is there anything now that you find that you would like to make a documentary about? I know that you kind of have steered from that, but is something
Yes.
important enough to you at this point?
Yeah, I would have to have a topic I'm passionate about. I think, if I were to make another documentary, it would probably be on tracing my family's heritage. That's probably another topic, but yeah, but it would have, yeah, but yeah, I mean, documentaries aren't really my go-to thing. It was just, as I said, if I find a topic that I love, I would do it for sure. And yeah, and I think that, yeah, tracing my family's heritage is probably one I would love to do at some point.
For sure, for sure. So I wanted to know, like, did you, when you started acting, that was in the States, right? You weren't doing acting in Zimbabwe?
Well, I was still a kid in Zimbabwe, so it was kind of like we immigrated to Australia, and then yeah, and so I did the documentary in Australia, and I did a few independents over there too.
When did you end up coming over to the States?
5 years ago. Yep. Yeah.
So how would you say that the movie making in the States versus like Australia is? Did you get a taste of that, or were you not in Australia long enough as an adult?
No, I got a good taste of it. It's very, I mean, it's very different. Australia is a much smaller industry,
Hmm.
and very and it's much harder because of that. And so the states, there are way more options. And yeah, I mean, that's the main huge difference.
Right. Okay. Well, I was curious. Obviously, we talked about your past. Is there anything currently that you have going on before we talk about Righteous Gemstones? Anything currently that you have going on, either that you've done that hasn't come out yet, or that you're currently working on that you can talk about?
Well, there's my project that's still recent to coming out, Introducing Jodea, which is out now on all platforms, which is a romantic comedy, and just a feel good movie. That's how I'm pitching it. Just about a terrible actress whose fortunes change when a world famous director drives into the back of her car, and she asks to be in his film, and she auditions and is terrible, so he agrees to coach her for the role. And what yeah, he agrees because his agent makes him a bet that he couldn't get a performance out of her. So yeah, and then a romance develops. So it's that's online across all main platforms, Introducing Jodea.
Okay.
And that's my main love at the moment. I have a few others. I have a pilot that I'm gonna get that we just finished shooting earlier this year, and then I've got a few that aren't sort of we're looking to get up, but haven't got up yet. So I'm kind of superstitious about talking too much about them.
Those
So yeah,
NDAs, those pesky non-disclosure
yes,
agreements.
absolutely. Yeah. But more me, it's more superstitious thing. I always, yeah, just don't like talking about it.
Right. So then, Righteous Gemstones is also a recent project.
Right, right.
Uh, um, I know that you were in season one and everything. And there's
Yeah.
more to come. We don't know what's going to happen, but I'm curious if your character were to come back into the fold, what would you like to see expanded on as far as her, um, as far as either her uh, her role going forward or her as a person?
I think I mean, I think she definitely would have to have some kind of revenge on baby Billy, Walton Goggins' character,
Yeah,
after he abandons her and her son. I'd like to see her taking him to court in a big way, taking him for everything he's got. I think that that's something which she should do.
yeah, that would be awesome. It seems like you've already had that in your mind because you said
Yes,
that so quickly.
yes. Well, no, it is something I've thought about. Yep.
So there's lots of names on there. You already mentioned Walton Goggins, who you probably worked with the most, but Danny McBride, John Goodman, legends on there. Anybody? This kind of goes both ways. Did anybody really intimidate you or make you feel really welcome? And you can go both ways with that.
Everyone was wonderful. They all went out of their way to make me feel welcome and were so nice. And I was so nervous on this new production, this massive production. Everyone really went out of their way to be nice. It was great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you if I guess I'm curious then, like beyond the present, beyond the past, what do you have in the future that you would like to do? Not anything that you have going on, but what do you have in the future that you would like to act a part of? Like what kind of
What?
parts would you be interested in?
I'm honestly interested in everything. I like strong female roles. A biopic would be good. A biopic of someone who did something to change the world, something like that. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's the kind of role I'd love to do.
Huh. Okay. That's pretty cool. So then, I just wanted to ask, like, obviously you worked with Walton Goggins more extensively than the others. Is that something like, do you feel like your guys' chemistry stayed together very well the entire time to where if you worked with them again, you feel like you could kind of pick up on it, even if it was different roles?
Oh yeah, yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, and he's such a nice guy. Yeah, I think, yeah, could definitely work with him again in another role. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so introducing Jodea, I forgot to ask, you said is on all streaming platforms or
Streaming
is it?
platforms, Amazon, iTunes, Tubi TV, YouTube.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's on all the main ones. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then we have that, and then obviously Righteous Gemstones is on it. Is it HBO?
HBO, yes, HBO.
That's what I thought. Is there anything about either of those projects that I didn't ask you or that people don't ask you that you'd like to use this as a platform to mention?
Um, no, I think everyone. I mean, I think everyone should watch Gemstones because it's such a funny show, and there's nothing sacred about it, and it's just one of those movie shows where you kind of they do things that are so unexpected you can't believe that they're doing them, and it's hilarious.
And
And yeah.
between that and introducing Joe Day, it seems like you are just trying to inject a little bit of um, you're part of what's trying to inject a little bit of humor or feel goodness into what is not a great time. you
Well,
know.
I mean, I'm hopefully. I mean, things are better now, getting better now, like post COVID. I mean, definitely. When Introducing Jodea just came out, it was like literally just post COVID period, and everyone's kind of looking for something hopeful, which I think is why a lot of people, when it did the festival runs, it did very well. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I think definitely humor is important in the world. We can't be too serious about stuff.
Okay. Well, is there any last thing that you would like to plug? Any social media that you'd like your fans to find you on?
Well, sure. Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Chloe Traicos _official. And I'm also on Facebook, Chloe Traicos. There's only one of me. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
Okay, awesome. And I appreciate you so much for taking the time to speak with me.
No, absolutely. And I've enjoyed it. And yes, and definitely, I hope we will stay in touch.
Yeah, we definitely will. You have a good one and stay safe.
You too. Have a good one.